topic of our presentation is LBJ and the hedgehog. So we got the first question, what is Johnson's strategic goal and what are the elements to achieve that goal? What important elements does he engage in and how does he use it in the context of the office to be more effective? So we took out two big things from this. What are his strategic goals and what are the elements he uses to achieve that goal? His strategic goal is summarized as his hedgehog. What made him different? What was his strategic advantage? And then we'll run through each of the elements he used to achieve that, really in using the office to his advantage. So LBJ's strategy, or his hedgehog, was really JFK's agenda in order to get stuff done. And why he did this really was kind of indifferent, I think, to what the policies he was achieving, but he really wanted to clear the logjam, as he called it. And so if you look at the advantages he got from political expediency, head start with timing, and riding the JFK sentiment, at the end of the day, he caught a tide and seized the moment. And so now let's take a look at how we use the elements to achieve that hedgehog.
Great. Johnson was incredibly disciplined during this transition period. He had a real singleness of purpose to carry out the Kennedy administration basically through the end of 1964. I want to start with keeping the cabinet. It took incredible discipline and self-control to not just clean house of all the people that ostracized him for so long, recognizing instead that these people can help him achieve the goals, establish a continuity, and see the end of the Kennedy administration through in Kennedy's image. He was incredibly disciplined in his calmness. He reinvented the way he communicates. For the speech to the joint session of Congress, Caro describes Johnson's notes for that speech with typed out or written in pauses and extra pauses, pause, pause. And he really needed a pause. Really taking down the speed of his speech and commanding himself in a more statesmanly, as the press called it, a more statesmanly manner. He rose to the occasion for that. He had a lot of deference and humility. It took, again, incredible discipline to bring down the more boisterous parts of his personality and to put himself aside and put himself into Kennedy's administration and achieve Kennedy's goals.
Okay, the second thing he did to achieve his goal was coalition building, and he did this in a number of ways. Early on, he convinced the liberals that they should stick with him and support him because he was going to reform the system. At the same time, he told the Republicans that he was going to preserve it. So he hinted to both sides that he would meet their expectations. He built mentors. When he was talking with Russell, I mean, one of the famous quotes he says is that, I don't have a daddy. I am a Russell protege. Come with me, follow me. So he told people all along the way that he needed them. How many times did he say, I need you more than Kennedy needs you? He did try to eliminate the party politics. You're great patriots. He said this to a room full of governors made up of both parties. So in any place he went, he tried to bring along people from both sides of the aisle to find a way to move forward with all of the goals that he wanted to achieve. Again, trying to keep forward with everything Kennedy had started, where it was log-jammed and pushed it through. So by reaching to both sides, he was saying, come with me, and I'm going to make everyone happy because this is going to be the best thing. And one of his favorite things in the civil rights quotes, or one of the most famous things, was when he was saying, you're either for civil rights or you're against it. Well, nobody wanted to be against it. So he used a lot of the power in his speaking and convincing, whether it was arm twisting or asking for people to be calm with him because he wasn't as smart or he wasn't as able to absorb as quickly as LBJ or as JFK. So through coalition building, he did that. He tried to bring everyone along with him.
Leveraging the sentiment of times. So imagine Johnson giving his first speech to the American public right after the assassination of John F. Kennedy. with eloquence and in a sorrowful tone, he says, "All I have, I would have given gladly not to be standing here today." So he's definitely pulling to the heartstrings of a very torn country, a very sad country, and we'll use this to get a lot of JFK's strategies accomplished. He also says, "The greatest leader of our time has been struck down by the foulest deed of our time." So he uses this language to emphasize how important and significant this event is in the history of America and what Kennedy stood for and the things that he wants to accomplish going forward. So here we've got to carry on. We can't abandon this fellow's program because he's a national hero and these people want his program passed. And that's kind of where you see him pulling the rest of the country in to be able to get on his side because of Kennedy's legacy. It also appeals to poverty and heartstrings. So this administration today, here and now, declares unconditional war on poverty in America. He talks about our chief weapons will be better schools and better health, better homes, better training, and better job opportunities for Americans. And I think that it's important to note that the war on poverty quote was actually first said by JFK, so he was just expanding upon that after this terrible incident of JFK's assassination.
And with that, I think we're wrapping up on our time and want to open up for questions.